Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we'll be discussing from two verses, the 39th and the 40th verses of the 19th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the last two verses in this chapter. And with the end of this chapter, even the first canto comes to an end. So these are the last two verses of this entire canto itself of the Srimad Bhagavatam. As you might be aware, Bhagavatam is divided into 12 cantos, skandha in Sanskrit. And each of those cantos have got many chapters. And each chapter has got many verses. So, totally the number of verses is 18,000 in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the number of cantos is 12. And there are different number of chapters in each canto. Just like this first canto has 19 chapters. The second canto has 10 chapters. Whereas the 10th canto has got 90 chapters, 90, the biggest canto. Why? Because the 10th canto exclusively describes Krishna Leela. The other cantos describe the pastimes of the other incarnations of the Supreme Lord and even the pastimes of the activities of the devotees of the Supreme Lord, including the devotees of Krishna like the Pandavas. So 39th verse, Nunam Bhagavato Brahman Griheshu Grihamedhinam Na Lakshyate Hyavasthanam Apigo Dohanam Kvachit. The meaning of this 39th verse is, O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the houses of men long enough to milk a cow. Shukadeva Goswami has appeared in that assembly. Now, what is the duration for which, if Shukadeva Goswami goes to somebody's house? So Prabhupada explains this in the purport. Saints and sages in the renounced order of life go to the houses of householders at the time they milk the cows early in the morning and ask some quantity of milk for subsistence. Even though somebody may be completely renounced from everything material, as long as this body is there for the bodily maintenance, at least devotees, they beg for some milk. And from whom do they beg? From the householders who keep cows. That's the Vedic culture generally. Vedic culture means the householders generally keep at least one cow or a few cows, and they have some land for growing some food. Very easily, all economic necessities can be met by having some land for cultivation of food grains, vegetables, growing some flowers or fruits, and also having one or more cows. So Prabhupada says the householders are able to not only get enough for themselves, but if some saintly person comes begging, Bhavati Bhikshan Dehi, they want very little milk. So the householders can easily give that little milk. So Prabhupada says, a pound of milk fresh from the milk bag of a cow is sufficient to feed an adult with all vitamin values, and therefore saints and sages live only on milk. Very, very easy. They take some milk, drink that, and that's enough to give them all necessary nutrition for their subsistence, for engaging in devotional service exclusively without the need for gathering some grains, cooking it, preparing some food stuff. Either oneself or somebody else has to prepare nothing. Directly take the milk, especially when milk is being taken from the cow. The cow is being milked. Just take that milk, drink it, finished, over. So Prabhupada says, in the Vedic culture, even the poorest of the householders keep at least 10 cows. This is Vedic culture. Each delivering 12 to 20 quarts of milk, and therefore no one hesitates to spare a few pounds of milk for the mendicants. I don't know the exact conversion of this quarts to pounds to, of course, pound, generally 1 pound is about half a kilogram. And I think quarts means something like some 15 or 20 quarts make a pound, something like that. So, when they have 10 cows, each of those cows can give so much milk. And they have plenty of milk to even spare for. Even the poorest of householders is considered poor householders. They can spare some milk for the saintly persons who come begging. Anybody can give. So, Srila Prabhupada says, it is the duty of householders to maintain the saints and sages like the children, like their own children. They give some milk at least to those who come begging for some milk or food. So a saint like Shukadev Goswami would hardly stay at the house of a householder for he would hardly stay for more than 5 minutes. That means he would not even stay for 5 minutes at the house of a householder. So, what does this mean? In other words, such saints are rarely, very rarely seen in the houses of householders. Very rarely. If at all they approach a householder, little milk, less than 5 minutes, when they are milking the cow, just take little milk and go on. So therefore, Maharaj Parikshit therefore prayed to Shukadev Goswami to instruct him as soon as possible. So, Prabhupada is giving us a lot of instructions here. Householders should understand saintly persons, when they come begging, they are not going to stay for long. So to take advantage of the saintly persons coming for begging is the real business of a householder, the real duty of a householder. That from the saintly persons get some valuable spiritual instructions to make one's life completely successful in attaining ultimate liberation or complete total liberation from all material bondage. And it's possible for everyone. So, Srila Prabhupada says, the householders also should be intelligent enough to get some transcendental information from visiting sages. Saintly person means they are exclusively meant for giving spiritual knowledge, spiritual instructions, for achieving ultimate perfection. The householder should not foolishly ask a saint to deliver what is available in the market. Some material thing. Sometimes people think, oh, sadhu, he can give me some treatment by which I will get cured of some disease. And he will do it free of charge. He will not charge me. If I go to a doctor, doctor may ask for some fees. Or I have to purchase some medicine. Doctor may write some medicine I have to purchase. But a sadhu, he will do it free. He has no need of money. So this is not very intelligent. This is foolish. Ask the sadhu what he can give which nobody else can give, which is not available anywhere for purchase or even for free. Nothing is available other than from such pure devotees. Nobody else can give you. So ask for that. A similar verse is there in the earlier chapter. We discussed this 5th chapter, 1st canto. Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyadaha. Narad Muni is instructing Vyasadeva. One should actually live for that purposeful end, which is not obtained by wandering throughout the entire universe, all the planetary systems. The purpose of our existence should be to get that which is not available anywhere. And what is that? How to extricate oneself from this material bondage, how to get out of this material bondage. That you cannot get simply by going to different planets with different material facilities. Oh, somewhere you have got long duration of life, somewhere you have got Siddhaloka, you can get all mystic powers. Somewhere you got very nice, beautiful gardens called Nandana Kanana. And somewhere else you have got some lot of nice vegetables, fruits, flowers. This is not the purpose of existence. The purpose of existence is how to get out of this material bondage and get eternal freedom, complete total freedom. That is the real purpose. So, Srila Prabhupada concludes by telling that should be the reciprocal relation between the saints and the householders. The 40th verse, the last verse, Suta Uvacha Evam Abhashita Prishtaha Saragnya Shlakshanaya Gira Pratyabhashata Dharmagyo Bhagavan Badarayanihi. The meaning of this verse is, Sri Suta Goswami said, the king thus spoke and questioned the sage using sweet language. Then the great and powerful personality, the son of Vyasadeva, who knew the principles of religion, began his reply. After hearing the question, just asked very sweetly, very nicely. Because Parikshit himself is a great devotee. So devotee is qualified in multiple ways. He can ask the perfect and precise question. He can ask the question in very sweet words. He is well behaved. So this is another fact about a devotee. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati kinchana Sarvair gunaistatva samasate suraha. One who is a pure devotee of Krishna, he has got all the good qualities that are to be found in even the devatas. All the good qualities. So therefore, Parikshit asked the perfect question, or perfect questions, and Shukadeva Goswami, who is the great and powerful personality who knew the principles of religion, Dharmagya, he began his reply. That will come in the second canto, first chapter. His reply, beginning of his reply. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.